This is Football Happy Hour on CBS Sports HQ. I'm Chris Hassel, and we are within 24 hours of the official start of the 2021 league year in the NFL. Bill Belichick and the Patriots continuing to spend money like, I don't know, somebody's got a hoodie they need to fix or something like that. The Patriots adding a second free agent tight end in Hunter Henry, joining Jonnu Smith in New England. The Giants signing Leonard Williams to a 3-year deal, and the Jaguars adding Shaquille Griffin on a 3-year deal. Those are the three top moves of the day in the National Football League, coming off an extremely busy Monday here as NFL free agency continues to ramp up. We've got Pete Prisco and Jonathan Jones with us. JJ, what did you think of the Giants locking up Leonard Williams for 3 more seasons?
Yeah, it had to be done. They had to get his cap number down. Being on that franchise tag of around $19 million, this essentially cuts that in half and gives them a little bit more room to play around with, including, but not limited to, finding that wide receiver that they so desperately need. Obviously, the Golden Tate experiment did not work out. John Ross may not even be on the team in week 1 after they just signed him to that low-risk deal. So we're going to see who they wind up getting there. But Leonard Williams played absolutely fantastic in that Patrick Graham defense last season. Really came on. I know there were a lot of high expectations with him being a top 10 overall pick that he didn't necessarily live up to in his time with the Jets. He goes in that uncharacteristic trade to the Giants, doesn't seem to be living up to it very shortly after that trade, but absolutely turned it on and was dynamic there again for Patrick Graham and the Giants defense. So this is a great deal for him, a long time coming, and really for the immediate purposes of the New York Giants, this is great for them to get a little bit of cap relief. They needed to get this done so that they could get on with free agency. I'm excited to see what wide receiver they add next.
Yeah, I agree with JJ. I think this is a great deal for them in terms of the cap, but it's also a great deal to make sure that you keep a player who's a big part of your defense happy. I mean, this guy played at a monster level last year. He was a misfit what the Jets used him in terms of what they were doing on defense. Patrick Graham deserves a lot of credit. He got creative with Leonard Williams. He lined him up inside. He lined him up outside. He could do so many different things in their defense, and he just fits. And there are people out there that will say, well, they could have got him as a free agent. If they didn't trade the 3rd-round pick and the 5th-round pick to get him from the Jets, they could have got him in 2019. I don't buy that. You want to control the player, and by making that move, they controlled the player. And like JJ said, he played to such a high level last year. He was a dominant defensive player, and had he hit the market, he would have been the #1 defensive player on the market.
And Pete also agreed in terms of wide receiver John Ross. What does he do for you?
Well, he's got to stay healthy. I mean, you know, John Ross has had all kinds of problems staying on the field, but there's always the attraction of speed. You can't teach speed in this league. The Giants need it. Maybe if he stays on the field, he can show some of those skills off. Remember, there was a time a couple years ago where he started out looking like he was going to be a star player, and then he fizzled out because he got hurt again. It's just a matter of staying on the field for John Ross.
That's exactly right. He is a smaller player, and you know those guys don't normally hold up. And I think a change of scenery is something that John Ross probably needed from just a simple mindset perspective. He now has that with the Giants team that I don't know if they're necessarily blessed with speed at wide receiver when you look at the guys that they're probably going to be fielding out there for more than, you know, even 10% of the snaps at wide receivers. So he gives them an element that they don't already have. But again, the Giants can absolutely pull the ripcord if he is unable to stay healthy, especially during what is sure to be a grueling training camp after the season and year that we just had last year with such little